I need to tell my story. I need others to hear it because right now I feel like I have no one else to tell it to. On May 23, 2022, at 5:32 a.m., I found out that my wife was cheating on me. Every morning before work, I kissed my wife and told her I loved her. This morning, she was snoring loudly in bed. She was drunk and didn't get home until about 3 a.m. This was a trend lately, a trend I accepted because I knew she cared about communication. I trusted her and didn't want to smother her. I didn't like her doing this, but I thought that as a good husband I should allow it, since she told me that she needed it. Lately I've been working more, a lot more. The work got busy, and we wanted to build our dream home together, a home that had been put off for years due to permitting and complications. I wanted us to be financially secure during these difficult times. I knew my wife was lonely, but we had plans for the future. We had a honeymoon planned, and I undefined thought more time with her friends would be enough for the short term. When I entered the bedroom, I saw her phone on the edge of the bed. I knew her password and wanted to check it. I wanted to make sure that my suspicions were wrong, that I was paranoid, and most importantly, that I was wrong in thinking that my spouse would cheat on me. I picked up the phone and looked at her messages. It only took a few texts to see that something was going on, that I had been cheated on. Undefined. I put the phone back where I found it, had no idea how to react, and left the house and went to work. I cried all the way. I thought about driving the car into a ditch, but I didn't do it. I came to work and worked. A little later, I received the daily message that I always get from my wife, that she thinks I'm handsome, that she loves me. I didn't want to deal with this in any way, and didn't want to start it over text, so I responded in kind and then cried some more in the bathroom at work. In the middle of the day, I received an anonymous text message. Someone confirmed what I already knew, that my wife was cheating on me. They didn't want to be involved, but cared enough to let me know. It hurt me so much to know that other people already knew that it was pretty egregious, and I didn't know right away. I still don't know who sent that message, but I'm grateful that someone cared enough about me, or the sanctity of marriage, to let me know. Wait for the end undefined, the day was forever. But it came. I cried again on the way home. My wife was at our neighbor's drinking and having a good time. I drove to where we lived and texted her to come home. I remember so vividly when she walked up to the front door. She was fine, there was no pain, and I knew everything in our lives was about to change. I told my wife I received a disturbing text message today, asked her if she was cheating on me, showing her the message on my phone. She looked straight at me and said, "No." She wanted to know who sent the message, but I didn't know either. Then I asked her to look at her phone. She gave it to me without asking questions and asked me, "Don't you trust me? I would never do that to you." She asked me, "Do you really think that I will cheat on you?" All the while shaking my head in disbelief that I didn't trust her. My heart sank even more when I looked at her phone. She had deleted all the incriminating messages. There was a brief moment when I believed her. Was I under some delusion that I had seen these messages before? Was I a bad husband for going through her phone? I knew I wasn't making it up. I looked at her and told her that I read her phone this morning, that she deleted the texts, and that I knew something was going on. She told me that something was going on, that the neighbor had kissed her and that she didn't want to tell me because she didn't want the little one town. To find the error became a big problem. I knew there was more to it than that. From the texts I read, I wanted to leave right away. I wanted to grab my bag and go to my parents. I wanted to be with someone who cared and loved me, but I was in shock. She lied right to my face. She tried to put the blame on me, and if I didn't already know the truth, she would have made me feel like a bad partner. I think she would be fine with that. We started talking and agreed that we should talk more about it. We've been together for almost 2 decades. That was too much to give up. In between tears, we both talked about the problems we were facing. We cried, we held each other, and talked more about some of the shortcomings of our relationship. Decreased intimacy, not prioritizing each other, and not wanting to feel needed. There were so many problems, and honestly, hearing them out loud was good. It was good because they were so manageable, but it wasn't about cheating and lying. I took the next day off so we could talk more. When my wife decided she would start hanging out with our neighbors herself, we had a frank and direct conversation. I warned her that men often lack any form of female attention, and showing interest in them, even in a friendly way, can quickly lead to unfriendly feelings on his or her part. We both discussed that if any undefined boundaries would be crossed, she would let me know right away and end this friendship before it turned into something that could ruin our relationship, and I believed her at that moment. We discussed many times what could break our love, what could destroy our marriage, and we agreed that cheating would be the only option. She did it knowing this. She then began to tell me more about the events that had been going on for several weeks. That it wasn't just her kisses, but her participation in all of this. She told me that she told him many times that it was wrong, but that didn't stop her from coming back. She told me there was no sex or anything below the belt, and she told me she ended her relationship with him on May 20th. My heart sank again because they were still sending dirty texts in the early hours of the 23rd. Every time she retold the story, it got worse. Knowing that we had been so open with each other for the past 24 hours and she was still lying to me made me break down again. I cried more, but I still wasn't ready to let it go. The next day, I tried to go to work, but when I arrived, I had to leave. I couldn't look anyone in the face without starting to cry. I told my boss that I needed to leave and that I needed the rest of the week off. He gave me the day off without undefined hesitation. This was the first time I actually thought about killing myself over this and wasn't just a passing thought. I was in the car, I thought it would be easy to do, but I didn't want to kill myself. I just didn't want to be alive right now. I cried, I said out loud, "I'm dying and I have no one to talk to, no one to help me," and then I went back to her. We talked more. I told her that I need to know the full story about her infidelity. This had been going on for weeks. She brought him to her birthday party that my parents were throwing at their house. She introduced the person she was cheating on to my parents. This person was one of my distant cousins. My mom was so happy to see him, because it had been many years since they last saw each other. It broke something else in me. It made me feel like she had no remorse for the cheating that happened, and it meant so little to undefined her that she brought this man into the life of my family. I realized that I couldn't trust her, that I couldn't believe her story, and that honestly, she didn't feel too bad about cheating and lying, that her loneliness and sadness were an excuse for it. It was at this point that I also realized that I was in an abusive relationship. My wife had a difficult childhood. She was cheated on. She was raped. She was lied to. It never occurred to me that she could turn into an abuser, but I felt that she did. She has had first-hand experience of what is terrible, and she was able to commit this evil to the person she says she loves more than anything in the world because I wasn't considerate enough, because I didn't make her feel wanted, and because I didn't always make her a top priority. I dove even deeper and old memories surfaced. When we were at university, she cheated on me then. Now a pattern had emerged, and I couldn't believe or know if any more cheating had happened between undefined in the meantime and now. We kept talking though. We talked about the changes we wanted to make in our lives, how we both wanted to be better people, and exhausted, we fell asleep holding each other. We woke up and started kissing, we had sex. I knew it was wrong, but I could tell that she wanted to feel intimate. She wanted to feel wanted, and in that moment she wanted me. And despite everything that happened, I wanted her, and I wanted to give her those feelings. We decided we needed to spend some time apart after this. We had a consultation scheduled for next Monday, but we needed time apart to think clearly and figure out if we still wanted to be together, if we even wanted the same things in life, and if I could ever get over this. I have almost no close friends, and my parents have always been close to me and my confidants. I said that I would stay with them, and I knew that she would ask me something at that moment, something that I would agree to, not because it would help me in any way, quite the opposite, but something that I would need to agree to if our relationship was ever going to have a chance of continuing. She asked me not to talk about cheating with them, and I didn't. I talked to my parents, I didn't lie to them, but I didn't tell them the whole truth, and I'd been living with them for the past 2 days. Speaking of some of our other big problems, I found out I really want kids. She's relieved that she doesn't want to have them. My parents showed me nothing but love and support. They loved my wife like a daughter. I didn't want them to see her in such a terrible light. The truth is, I love my wife, and despite all this, I would never want to hurt her or have others treat her badly. It's not undefined in my nature. That's why I'm writing this. I needed to tell my story to be heard, as I'm not ready to tell it to those in my immediate circle. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do. No matter how obvious all the signs pointing to breaking up with each other are, and I'm hoping that counseling will help me make a decision. Despite the sadness and pain I feel, I want her to be happy, and maybe I cared and still care about her happiness more than my own. All my visions of the future always contained her. I think that's why it's so hard. I know I'm blinded by my love for her. It's terrible that being so in love is so bad. Writing this helped me understand and deal with my emotions and feelings. I hope to write more about this, whether privately or publicly. If my experience resonates with you, I would love to hear yours and empathize and be there for you.